signing a verbal unfinished contract.
Well, that was interesting.
He sort of shrugs and says, I've done it before. You know, friend. Now, what does the paper say? Is it authentic?
Talifel will look over it.
You look at the paper for a moment, and a scholar such as Talifel would quickly recognize the paper as the cheapest stuff available. The letters in blue and green are made to look fancy, but they look like the scribbles of a large child that say, "You have been invited to the Garden of Unearthly Delights." That's all it says.
Did he just forge this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the cat book didn't forge it. It's the guy we ran into.
Yeah,
The guy with the pretty hat.
I don't think this looks as authentic as I'd hoped.
Nods.
You know,
down at it.
me.
Talifel will consider. Probably not.
Well, you don't know what a real one looks like, so
I have a feeling it's probably not this.
We can try at least. I mean, we have sold our souls to this cat person for this piece of paper, so we might as well try it.
There is nothing forcing us to comply with anything.
Technically, the paper doesn't work.
That is true. If the paper doesn't do what she promised us, the bet is
Edgar slightly smiles. Luckily, I personally didn't promise her much. Mumbling to himself, looking over the paper.
Well, let's go. Let's go try.
Well, whoever plans to knock on the front door, I mage hand it slightly in a position where everyone could reach. Whoever wants it.
I think definitely Ruther should carry this.
Sure, I'll grab it.
He'll
Maybe grab it
likely
in my
to
mage hand.
make it work, I think.
Sure. He is the master.
We'll go back to the place.
go back to the fancy door with the two guards in front, and do you approach?
Sure.
I will
Pull his goggles down, brush his green hair back, and then pull the bird behind him.
They look at you.
Sort of looks and says,
crossed.
I was told there would be a great door here, but I must say I'm not that impressed. He sort of breaks out the sort of invitation to them.
One of the guards shrugs. I think it's pretty good. As the other one looks at your invitation, turns to the other guard and says, I thought there wasn't supposed to be any visitors today. The one shrugs. Who knows? They had the invitation, so...
So we have been invited for quite some time. I don't think it's entirely sure when we would have time to arrive. Says, now make it quick, as I said, I'm coming far away.
Yes, of course, sir.
Making his accent a little thicker than it usually is.
They regard you with a large amount of disdain as they prop up their spears against the wall and swing open the large doors. Revealing a for this door at least, way too tiny entryway that you can barely walk single file.
Gestures for the others to come.
Tudo follows.
He'll actually tell Zyron to hop on the roof.
Sure.
Tudo looks to Aki and tells him to follow Zyron. Zyron. Boop.
You can put your tokens here.
God.
I didn't get to...
It's on the same map, though.
It's on the same map.
Okay.
It is?
Yep.
Oh, it's just way over there.
If I can hit the area. There we go.
That's like sniping in the dark.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
there we go.
It's a cramped entryway, but the walls are again decorated with images, images of different animals.
Which way are we coming from?
Lizards, and snakes. You are going towards this door.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait,
Time to open the door.
You should be...
Well, you should come. Come on, you're right.
Yeah, but Eladar should be...
Eladar should be further up.
There's a silent vow person.
He's hanging out with the
He's somewhere.
He sees for an experiment I'm
He
doing.
needs to
Okay?
guard. He needs to guard the birds on the roof, right? You know.
Yeah, sure.
They don't need guarding.
Get off him.
Excuse me, my face.
You open the door.
Sir, sir.
Don't worry, he has never learned a lesson about personal space.
I can see.
He's also
that.
still wounded.
You open the door, and what you see is a richly decorated room, a nice carpet on the floor, and in the alcoves, which I'm trying to reveal, which is difficult. Oops. That is not what I wanted to
There's
do.
an ugly guy.
Oh gosh, it's growing.
I need to alcoves with couches, as well
Oh,
as
a
two
fennec.
cages, with creatures in them.
That is
The man spins around, looking at you. Ah, yes. I did not think I had invited anyone for today, but please do enter.
This is, we have come from far away, and sadly our invitation might have been a little old. It is understandable that you would forget.
Yes, I invite few people, but I have been growing forgetful in my old age. Who are you again?
I am Rutharan the Skycomer, leader of the Golden Company. Lords of the Rising Sun, headed from Osirian.
Roll a bluff check, please.
Will do.
Something to help him. I'm going. You can decide if it ties the bonus or not. I'm going to make it sound like that Rufus is actually walking with quite a lot of money. You can go down.
Sure.
The sound of coins from his back pocket.
That's how we do it. That's a natural 20.
He bows deeply as he says, "Ah, of course, this Skycomer. Yes, I've been expecting you for quite some time, but of course, you are welcome here at any time. Anytime. Now, take a sit, why don't you? We have plenty of time to discuss things."
Sure.
It is slowly getting dark outside, but the day is yet young, is it not?
It certainly is. I must compliment your door, most exquisite.
He bows. Thank you. Now, today is a rather unfortunate day for a proper tour of this establishment. I'm afraid there are certain procedures currently being taken care of.
Understand, says, you tell me I've come this far and to be denied a proper tour. Sort of frowns deeply.
Why, a proper tour could not have been completed in one day anyways. It is every of my specimens needs time to be observed properly.
Sort of raises an eyebrow and says, I suppose. We are looking for the most exotic, however. Something truly worthy of our reputation.
He smiles knowingly. Of course, yes. Boy, I've just the thing, as you undoubtedly know. But it is rather unfortunate I cannot give you a good presentation today. You see, today is the day of the monthly... Well, how to put it? It is a session of education for the creatures. They need to be trained and properly made presentable, obedient, of course.
It is, well, I would very much like to see such a process and work. I've heard much of your obedience training. The creatures from here are legendary for their domestication.
He bows again deeply. Yes, well, the process does involve a lack of light and, well, it is a day of isolation. A promise of what is to come should they misbehave. It would be counterproductive to interrupt that process.
Elidar looks at him, his drow eyes still piercing the man. He says, I am sure you are about then to offer our master a proper, full tour of your establishment first thing tomorrow.
Why, yes. If it would satisfy you, I can give you a tour of my other creatures today. And then we'll do the proper tour tomorrow.
And says, I suppose since I've come all the way here, it would be rather unfortunate to return to my areas without obtaining anything. Who knows? There might be something more than, the crown jewels here that could be worth my while.
He smiles brightly. Well, before we start, how about a drink? Perhaps some pesh? I do not have the diluted, well, excuse my language, crap that the pesh houses have. I have the good stuff. Free of charge, of course.
Well, and says, I suppose that would be in order.
Very well then. Let us not stay in this room. It is quite cramped with all these people around, yes?
I go nowhere without my retainers. A long life of wealth has taught me that much.
Of course, I can understand completely. Very well then, we shall go. Well, my office is rather small, I do have to apologize, but we can take the guard's common room for now.
Den?
He gestures around. My establishment is small, but quality over quantity.
I suppose.
Let us
If the
then
province,
commandeer
I should
the.
say then.
Let us then commandeer the guard's common room. It's not quite as luxurious, but it will do. As he
You
gestures
can
towards the door.
send them home early if need be. My retainers are quite capable of handling any beasts that might escape, unlikely as it might be.
He smiles. I would rather not. You understand.
He nods.
See then gestures towards this door right here. And reveals a not quite as richly decorated room. But there is a large table in the middle with plenty of chairs. There's a guard in the northwestern corner. And on the eastern walls, two rather strange creatures are standing. Definitely humanoid, almost human in shape. Although their heads are they are definitely draconic in nature. As those massive creatures are standing there, a falchion in one of their hands, leaning against the wall and looking carefully at you, almost staring. As Fatima bows slightly, please do not be intimidated by my more exotic bodyguards. They are beauties, are they not?
Looks truly amazed and looks at this. Very interesting. I have not seen such beings before.
Half dragon, half human. Quite the rarity, I have to say. Now, please, take a seat. Do
A
not.
matching pair.
Why, yes, they are siblings. Brother and sister, saved by yours truly from the evil machinations of a power-hungry wizard. Loyal to the death and cheap.
Cheap.
I saved them, therefore they have sworn their loyalty to me. All I offer them is food, drink, and a place to live. And protection, of course. They, in return, offer protection to myself. The two creatures almost stand like statues. The only thing that is striking you are their pupils, as they don't even turn their heads.
Sure. Then we'll take a seat.
Although the closest one to Gyrex does grunt slightly as he approaches. Fatima looks angry to him at that grunt. Please, they are rude at times. I will make sure to punish them for anything you find inappropriate. He glares back at the two creatures. But for now, just pretend they are not here. Take a seat. I will have drinks brought. I will have my own stash of pesh brought, and then we can discuss business, yes? He gestures towards the guards to his north, who heads off into this room.
Of course. I hope there's much to discuss, although I would very much like to inspect the possible purchases. If nothing else, I appreciate the gesture of the invitation.
Why, yes, it is an unfortunate timing you have. I would, of course, like to present the wares to you immediately, but, well, if you are so insistent on inspecting my other creatures, perhaps there's something for you to find, then we shall not dally. We can have these drinks later today, or perhaps tomorrow. Just come back here at noon. We will
I
spend...
was looking forward to inspecting the wares, and if I must wait for the main attraction for tomorrow, I suppose a tour of the other creatures today would be worth something. Perhaps before we turn to the rather pleasant talks later on. Stands up again, dusting himself off, looking around. Glittering armor and rakish, sort of rich kid smile.
He nods at you. Very well then. I'm not used to doing things so rushed, I have to admit. Usually this is supposed to be an experience, not just a shopping tour.
And says, as you know, I come from the north, and there are many things to be discovered and explored in the sands. The wealth I gather in these journeys is fleeting. I like to spend it. And I would rather not wait with doing so if it makes my wish to leave coin in your pocket any smaller.
I see. Very well then. Let us get our drinks later today then. Or perhaps you do not want drinks at all.
Yes, they do sound nice, especially if the pesh you can produce are indeed the best.
I will not take offense to your rejection of my hospitalities today, so let us get to it then. Just follow me, please. As he heads over here. And
getting a good look at these creatures as he walks past them.
Yeah, they are about humanoid in shape, except much more just broad and slightly taller. As you walk close to them, they do look down upon you, just glaring really. Their falchions leaned against the wall, and they are wearing armor, quite the high quality armor, definitely, with different images of different kinds of dragons.
Look at them, up at them, and if any of their eyes meet his, he'll also give them a wink.
I grunt at your response. But Fatima eventually opens the door to herself, revealing a hallway. And in a niche in each of these alcoves here is a cage with a rather colorful bird in each of them. One of them is not unlike Aki. As he walks through here, telling a rather extraordinary and convoluted tale of how he braved the Mangawi jungle by himself with no help, catching these creatures, and how there are only one of them in the world, and he has them, so if you're interested, why, there can be talks about that.
Did one of them look like Aki?
Similar, at least. As he very, very slowly walks through this hallway, so slowly that you can't really walk at a decent speed as he keeps stopping to explain
look at
another
the birds.
detail.
He's very interested in all these interesting things. He's delighted at the variety and such. Although, I mean, they are birds, but still.
Would these be native to the Moringa Expanse?
One of them would be. The others that he told you would be native are not. But regardless, you do know that these are indeed rather rare birds. Some of which you have heard rumors about that they don't even exist.
Talifel will create notes of this in his journal.
Very interesting, very interesting.
He continues another hallway, and to the western side of this hallway are more cages. As he stops at this one, pointing at the monkey-like creature. This is a rather fascinating creature. A baboon, they are called, but this is no regular baboon. This is an extraordinary baboon. A smart baboon.
It's an extraordinary baboon. I can see he has a bookshelf.
He is indeed reading a book.
He is Toth, the baboon god.
This baboon was caught by raiders. They raided a caravan of a very peculiar person, a slaver of beasts. They freed this creature and gave it into my hands so that I can take care of it and find a better home. He can talk, but he tends not to. And as he says that, the baboon actually makes a rude gesture in the general direction. Fatima frowns. He is rather, well, how to put it, unique. As he continues.
Sort of, looks at him.
The baboon is busy reading his book.
What book is he reading?
I can't quite make out the title, but it seems to be a report on some sort of treatise.
Very sophisticated reading.
Rather dry literature, yeah. As he continues.
Do you think it was possible to make it read aloud?
Physically possible, yes, but you have commended me on my excellent obedience training before. I do have to admit it failed with this particular creature. I would not wish to harm it. Therefore, I'm out of ideas how to really accomplish it to do much. But I'm sure one such as you would have more success in that regard.
We should rescue the baboon. He would be a great boon to us, so to speak.
Sure. It's in this cage.
See, he builds this cage of a fluffy dog-like creature.
Oh, it's a tillikeen.
Yeah, it is a Filikin.
Some sort of dog thing, alright.
They have big mouths.
He again spins the tale of how he rescued this particular creature in the desert. He found it at a dried-up oasis, searching for water, and he was the only one of the travelers who was generous enough to give this creature just a drip of water, and it has been its loyal companion ever since. The story is kind of contrasted by the point that this creature is trying to keep its distance as much as possible, squeezing into the corner, just looking at you with a combination of of fear and anger, as it would probably bite you if you opened the cage. Fatima does recognize that this creature's behavior does not quite fit his story, as he frowns at it and says, "But continue. That is not all, of course. I have more fantastic creatures. The next one, please keep your distance. It is rather dangerous." And what he opens the cage to, the cage bars actually made from wood, rather thick wood, the same kind of wood that his door is made of, in fact, as he points at the insect-like creature. This is one of the fabled mythical creatures. They eat metal, they eat armor, they eat weapons, they eat people. This is not a creature you can cuddle with. No, this is a monster.
Now, this seems like something quite spectacular.
Oh, something it is, yes.
I don't like the rust monster. I'm scared of it.
Could you show us its ability? Do you have anything you could feed it?
It has just been fed, I'm afraid, and opening the gate is rather dangerous, as you might understand.
Not slight disappointments, I suppose. Perhaps tomorrow, then.
Tomorrow, when you come back, we can take a look. It is rather fascinating how it devours metal, just melting it like it is butter. But let us continue. We are almost done, except for the grand prize, of course, but that will have to wait until tomorrow. As he slowly makes his way around this guard, who is squeezing himself against the corner, and opens this door, revealing a pool and a medium-ish cage with a lizard-like creature in it. Now come, enter. It is hard to see inside the pool from out here. I am afraid I've abused this room as kind of a storage room for the time being. My establishment is small but of high quality. My cages are usually much more creature appropriate, of course, But this lizard here is not moving much. He likes his cage, I'm pretty sure. And down in this pool here, do not put your fingers in it or you will lose them, as there are 2 hammer sharks in here. Quite the magnificent creatures, although the water seems to be not as transparent as it should be. I will have to talk to my guards about this because they are supposed to maintain this place properly. Very well then, I will have to get this fixed until tomorrow, and then you can see the much more magnificent than certain other menageries who focus on aquatic animals, the magnificent hammerhead sharks. Rare, definitely. One of a kind. I have 2 of them.
And I will actually snort a little bit at that.
I never was much for the aquatic creatures.
They are not as easily to appreciate as other creatures, of course. I do have to apologize. This is all I can show you for today, but tomorrow you can see the grand prize, yes? He winks slightly.
Are the rumors true, however?
Well, what do you think?
I think a man of such an establishment as yourself could have what the rumors say, but he sort of looks around and says, "It is hard to believe something so valuable."
Then prepare your mind to be blown tomorrow.
I heard a single exemplar was available.
I shall drop the base only once.
Such singular opportunity, just one creature.
Oh, I do believe the rumors have been lying to you then, sir. I have not 1, not 2, but 3 of the creatures. I have sold 1 of them already. I used to have more. But
you must excuse me if I find that hard to believe, sir.
oh, why, yes, they are unique. They are smart. They are loyal, obedient. They can learn every trick within minutes. And legend says that they are magical. But you do have to excuse me. If the rumors did indeed say that I only have 1, that means that you are only prepared to buy 1, yes? I am afraid I can only sell the 3 of them at once.
If there are 3, then I would be more than delighted.
Lord Skycomer, if I may, if I remember correctly, our current hoarder should be more than sufficient.
Money is no object.
Helixon says, generally, yes. The good old kings of the north had the audacity to bury unmentionable riches with them, to just waiting there for whoever can claim them.
Let us mention these unmentionable riches tomorrow then, yes?
Says, yes. After the tour, I think we shall have that drink you proposed.
Of course.
Quick smile.
Let us return to the common room then.
What does this lizard seem to do anything special?
It's just kind of sitting there.
No.
Being sad.
It looks like it's sleeping, but it might also be dead. You aren't quite sure.
Aww.
Lizard.
Wait. Talifel quickly peeks from under his thing. Is it dead?
It's not dead.
You were all through a whisper spoke it. Get a little message. It's not dead. Don't worry.
Might be a Komodo dragon, so you might want to watch out.
Aw, but still, it's so sad.
Talifel moves out the way, of course, gesturing, for his lord and Fatima to pass.
Well, Fatima, seeing Tira's interest in this creature, will spin a tale of fire-spewing variants of this type, and he will also explain that It doesn't look sad. That is just how they look.
Okay.
Skeptical.
Hmm.
It's called a sad lizard, yes.
And then goes, very well, then let us return. Have a drink, and then... I do not want to be rude, but there are still certain things I have to take care of today. But tomorrow, yes, return here at noon. We will spend the warmest part of the day inside, in the cool, with nice cool drinks and some other entertainment. If you specify what you fancy, I can also produce many things.
What kind of dog is this anyway?
It's a Philippine.
What is it there?
It's like a. It has a really big mouth. It's like.
If Philippine is... it is also called a Tasmanian tiger, if that is an animal that you know.
Or Tasmanian devil, depending on how you know it.
Oh,
There's the picture of it.
that one doesn't look like a Tasmanian devil, though. Oh, it kind of does.
Yeah, they are dog-like creatures and rather large mouths, yeah.
Very large mouths.
They sound funny, too. And they don't know how to eat stuff. They always start with the butt. It's true.
Sure.
I don't think that is true at all.
It is!
So maybe we should take a little bit of a break here.
You can certainly do that.
10-minute break.
Sure.
Because then, I suppose, we'll be right back.
Maybe.
Meanwhile,